speaking of people who did things wrong, Rudy Giuliani is getting sued again by the same people who were just awarded a $148 million defamation verdict. Rudy appears completely unable to control himself. Take a look at this. Former Georgia election workers sue Rudy Giuliani again, asking judge to permanently stop him from lying about them. These are the same people. It's not other people. This is CNN. Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss, the two Georgia election workers who won nearly $150 million verdict against Rudy on Friday, have sued him again, asking a federal judge to permanently prohibit Rudy from lying about them. This lawsuit comes as Giuliani continues to make false statements about their work as absentee ballot counters in 2020. This is the new lawsuit. It says, quote, defendant Giuliani continues to spread the very same lies for which he has already been held liable. Defendant Giuliani's statements, coupled with his refusal to agree to refrain from continuing to make such statements, make clear that he intends to persist in his campaign of targeted defamation and harassment. It must stop. So this is now a new lawsuit. He lied about them again within 15 minutes of that $148 million verdict. Now, he can't pay $148 million regardless. This we know. His finances are not such that he can do that. I don't know that we know that Rudy Giuliani is broke, but he's not exactly flourishing financially at this point in time. Maybe Rudy's view is, I can't pay any of this stuff. The only punishment they could give me is jail time, which maybe will come at a certain point if he's held in contempt. I'll just keep talking about them, saying exactly the same stuff that was found to be libelous. He's now saying it outside of the very courtroom where a jury said, oh, you owe damages because of the things that you've said. He went on Newsmax also, and he was interviewed by Rob Schmidt and asked again, do you believe the things you said are true? He goes, oh, yeah, they'll sue me again. But the things I said are absolutely true. And indeed, they are suing him again.
Senate.
Do you allege that?
I put none of it in.
Your allegation, your initial allegations, do you still believe them to be true?
Yeah, well, of course they'll sue me again for it when I say that. But yeah, I do. But they want me to lie. They are suing me in order to lie to them. I'm sorry, I can't do it.
He's just too honest to ever tell a lie. No problem running around the country lying about how Trump won in the aftermath of 2020.
If I showed you the evidence right now, and I think you've played it on your air, people would see that what I said was absolutely true, and there's support for it. And the most important thing is it doesn't have to be absolutely true. It has to be supportable. They have to prove that I was deliberately lying, which I wasn't. I had all this material that I based it on. So, and never got a chance to make that defense to the jury.
Rudy is insisting he has tons of evidence. He wasn't allowed to present the evidence to the jury. He's not allowed to present the evidence on Newsmax. One lawyer wrote to me and said, you know, David, this Newsmax interview is interesting because we are now post-judgment. Newsmax is potentially liable here by allowing Rudy, but first of all, by setting Rudy up with these softball questions, and then by allowing Rudy a platform to uncontested insist that the defamatory statements were true. This is not, there's been no judgment. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. Rudy Giuliani's statements have already been found to be defamatory by a jury, and a $148 million verdict has been indicated here. For the argument that this lawyer is making, who wrote to me, is that for Newsmax to now air this stuff unchallenged opens them up to a defamation lawsuit as well. Now, I said this yesterday, but I'm going to say it again, because if you look at the YouTube comments, you look at the X excretions on X, it used to be Twitter, now it's X, you see what people are saying about what we're talking about here. They're insisting that Democrats have criminalized speech. First of all, this has nothing to do with Democrats or Republicans. If you look at all of these different defamation cases, Fox News, and all these different ones that we've been talking about, the judges are a mix of partisan backgrounds. Some of them are right-wingers. There is no criminal aspect to this. Defamation is almost always a civil matter. The reason we're talking about $148 million rather than 3 years in prison for Rudy is because we are talking about civil matters, not criminal. So no one has criminalized speech. This isn't a criminal issue. It's not Democrats. And importantly, there are limits to so-called free speech. Democrats didn't invent them. Defamation law has existed for a very long time in the United States. And much like their now supposed concern about the conditions of pretrial detention in the United States, why do they care about that? Because there's a bunch of Trumpist rioters sitting in jail waiting for trial. They never cared about the conditions of pretrial detention before. Now they suddenly do. They never cared about defamation law before. Now they suddenly do, because so many of their ilk are regularly making defamatory statements. What ultimately happens with Rudy? Do they get any money out of him? Does he end up being held in contempt for not paying? I have absolutely no idea. But Rudy sued again, and he seems unable to learn from mistake after mistake after mistake. And the big mistake, obviously, was attaching his cart to the horse known as Donald Trump. Not exactly a powerful stallion, but a horse nonetheless, at least figuratively. That was really quite a mistake. Let's take a very quick break. We have a whole bunch of different things from all over the country to talk about today. So glad you're here. Quick break. We'll be right back. Many of you have heard me talk about the hacking that I've dealt with in the past. Look up the statistics. If it hasn't happened to you, it still could at some point. Our sponsor, Aura, is the all-in-one solution that I use to keep all of our accounts safe. Aura will scan the dark web for your personal info, email, password, social security number, and will alert you if it's found and will help you take steps to fix it. You'll get alerts about suspicious credit inquiries. Aura will monitor bank accounts and home and auto titles to help protect you against fraud. And Aura also will protect your actual devices from malware and scams with state-of-the-art antivirus and a call screener. And Aura will help you manage what your kids can do on their devices with easy-to-use parental device controls. You can try Aura for free for 2 weeks at aura.com/Pacman. Your login credentials might already be floating around out there somewhere. It takes just a few seconds to use the Aura free trial to find that out. The link is down below.